usually jump out of bed for the NAB Cup, but this is pretty cool. Today's going to be exciting because it does feel really new. It's not kind of the same old, kind of a new team, new coach, and back to the Whitnall was pretty cool. So it's good to be in the game phase now. I just hope we can have a good day. Everyone's pretty amped up for it. I would have thought if you had asked, told me at the start that I'd play 16 years, you'd think by the 16th year you'd know it back to front, and there'd be no surprises, but it always feels new. In Bali on a family holiday, and Justine and I having a day by ourselves, which doesn't happen too often, and we're in paradise basically. With the water was literally lapping at our feet, and we were having a beer in the sun, and there was some nice music playing. And for some reason, I didn't have my phone on me, and for some reason I asked Justine, I said, I'll just check my emails, and I never do that. And I checked my emails, and the line, and it wouldn't load properly, but the first line said, Ryan Griffin's management has informed us. That was it. And I just knew from that he'd requested a trade or he was going somewhere else, and I knew that would put pressure on the coach. And it was the initial, the initial explosion of the captain's walked out to then the ripple effect of that.
Macca has therefore made the decision to resign as senior coach of the Western Bulldogs, effective immediately.
And then the club just starts to get kicked, and that's where you get protective, and protective is kind of the word. It sent everything into chaos.
Brendan McCartney gone, Ryan Griffin's future uncertain as crisis descends on the kennel.
I've been around footy a long time. This is not a crisis. This is a tough week in the office.
As soon as the call was made, I was kind of ready to step to the front line, and it just felt like the right time. I wanted to be the captain. I wanted to steady the ship. I thought I was the right person to do it. There wasn't, I kind of tend to have a bit of grey. Try and have a balanced view of things and see the doubt, but this one didn't. It didn't feel like that at all. It felt like, right, it's my time.
Veteran Robert Murphy is the new top dog at the Whitnall Oval.
It's never been a burning ambition for me, but with the last couple of months and what happened there, Griff walking away, I felt compelled to step forward, and I haven't doubted that instinct for a second since. This has been my football club for half my life. It means everything to me. I've played under some of the great captains in our club's history, and to be part of that lineage is something really special. I'm 32, played, it's my 16th season. Not many guys get lucky enough to play that long, let alone much further than that. So in the most basic terms I'm looking over the edge of football oblivion, and that is a bit dramatic, but it is, there's the end is nigh. Well, this could all end at any moment. One misstep, one rolled ankle, one jarred landing, and it could all be over. So I kind of put a lot of my energy into enjoying every bit of it. This last phase, which it's not showing any signs yet of sort of slowing up. So I'm kind of trying to milk it and enjoy even the shit moments, even the bits that are painful and upsetting or hard. I'm trying to, just trying to absorb them, I guess. Being the main man was not something that really interested me until the last few months. And then I felt like I had to do it. And I've relished it, I've loved it. I feel kind of blessed now that I've got to do it, because I now wonder if I hadn't ever done it, if it would have nagged at me down the track as a regret. Whatever happens, at least I can say I put my hand up and gave it a go.
They've got time for one more here. Big pack forms. Man staying down with Shepherd. Goes to ground on the second effort. Through McGovern's leg. Now a chance for the Bulldogs. Stringer with strength and uses Wallace. He's got a man forward. He spots him around the corner. Dalhouse. 2-on-1. Still a chance for Dixon.
Oh, there's legs.
It looked like it. Going in was Gaff. Dalhouse again. Oh, something from nothing from Luke Dalhouse. Bingo! Prudis with time. Floats it up high. A couple of players go down. They both appeal for the free kick, but the man with the ball was Shuey. He's gone. That's holding the ball.
It's all based around harassment and chasing, and then run and gun when you get it. So I think they're both going to be looking for the oxygen.
They're overdoing it here. The Bulldogs had a lot of handballs, and finally Dalhouse kicks it. He spots a man out wide in Honeychurch. Bontempelli helps out. Hand in there first, though, from Shepherd. Cuts it off. Bontempelli again. Advantage should be paid. It is. Away goes Stringer. His kick around the body. Gets plenty on it. Bang! Another goal for the Western Bulldogs.
A few good players come out of that club.
Oh, yeah. Bontempelli found it. Hooked it. And goaled it. That's what the people come to see. The Bont. Prentice caught by McRae, but managed to get hands free and get it back to Butler. Quick hands, Selwood. If they get out of this, it'll be magnificent stuff. As look at the Bulldogs swarm them again. Wallace threw it on the boot. Playing in front is always a chance. Stringer. This time he managed to get free, and he hooks it round brilliantly. Over the back, taken by Johannesson again. 2 in a row, and they are back in front. Goods is going to hit the square here. Boyd. Not quite. Stringer, quite. Yes! 3 goals to Stringer, and the Dogs are now back in front. Through the legs of Goods, he wins a free kick.
Yeah,
Boyd,
contact.
advantage taken. Murphy. He's got Tom Boyd deep, heads in that direction. Oh, the crowd will like this. Their young man takes the strong mark at last. Tom Boyd for his first goal of the night to take the lead back by a point. He does it, and he salutes to the crowd. Last kick for the game, the new captain, Bob Murphy. What a game by the Western Bulldogs.
I don't know, it's one of those things, in place, you want to play for the coach, but you do, you want to make him proud. That's what footy's about, and he was there with a big smile and a big hug. That's all you want. That's enough. There's some peace. There's, singing the song and out on the ground and putting your arm around each other and enjoying the moment. And then someone will just mention it in the rooms after the game about, great winning, we're proud of you, and we got the Tigers next week. And as soon as the names dropped, you just sort of, something shifts again. But yeah, Easter Sunday tomorrow, so, can't be. Tigers can wait a day. It's Bunnies tomorrow. And then we'll get to the Tigers. Bunnies first.
So it's, 5th or 6th of November 2015. Today, just been through a really quiet October. A lot different to October 2014. Didn't lose the captain, didn't lose the coach, didn't lose a quarter of the playing list. This is my home, and this time last year, over here was where we made the agreement for Tom Boyd to come over. A couple of weeks earlier, sat there with Ryan Griffin over 2 hours. And, just over there is where we met till midnight, when 2 weeks later, he got back from holidays to tell us that or to have his managers tell us that he decided to leave and try and find himself in Greater Western Sydney.
The first time I heard about Ryan leaving was because I was in Turkey and I was just checking up on getting my stuff through the AFL app, and I'm reading Ryan Griffin's selects a trade or requests a trade. And
yeah, I was down at my parents' farm in West Victoria in Hamilton.
Yeah, I was on a train from Munich to Prague in the Czech Republic.
Driving over the Westgate Bridge, I was panicked a bit because I was like, well, what's the footy manager doing ringing me in November? So I thought I'd been traded.
At a bar in New York when Graham Lowe rang me, so it wasn't a great call.
Just how shocked I was pretty bizarre. And
not panic, but just concern about the footy club and what was going to happen and where we were going to go.
And it was quite an surreal experience, like having just been through my first year and not really knowing what to expect, and really that was the last thing I would have probably guessed to happen.
yeah, at that point, probably a bit unsure of what it meant for the club, what it meant for us as players. And
we had a senior coach, captain, and a lot of our experienced players leave, so
we had a real collective effort from sort of all the assistant coaches and the footy department to make sure we started the year right. And for me, and I think a lot of the boys, just getting back and training and moving on was probably the most important thing for us.
We always said that, you know, internally we didn't see it as a crisis, we saw it as a tough week in the office. Probably was a crisis.
You know I can't comment, guys. The hardest thing is then, when everything external is going on and all the mud's being thrown, is to actually hold all that together and actually make some really good calculated decisions about what's in the best interest of the club moving forward.
Is this a disaster for the club?
Not at all. No, not at all. We're all good.
Bit of a concern when the captain wants to walk out, though.
On reflection, the difficulty about it was that, you know, we were going through a rebuild stage, and from our perspective, we knew we were doing some things right. We knew we recruited well, and we were watching those players come into the club and we went, yep, we've recruited him well, but it was like they couldn't get traction.
Even though we were copping a whole lot of shit about in what sort of crisis we're in and what disarray we're in, etc., it was an opportunity. So for me, this was the one chance I had in about 5 attempts to make a quality, rational decision. You know, in 1989, I appointed Terry Wheeler as coach without even having met him.
When we were going through the process of trying to work out, okay, well, if this is the end of Brendan's tenure, you know, what is the type of coach we really need? You know, he jumped pretty quickly to fairly close to the top of the pack because he was empathetic, but someone who was actually really smart enough to go, I know we planned this today and it's not working, but remember, we've got plan B and we've got plan C. And right now, we're gonna have to go with plan B. And I'm gonna teach you how to do that.
In my working life, I worked a lot around understanding risk and, you know, risk management. And football coaching is an exercise in risk management, basically. You know, you're working out what your appetite is, you know, for certain risks in the game. And I kind of felt that, like early times coaching St Bede's, I had this huge risk appetite for a group playing in the C section of the amateurs, and the St Bede's Mentone boys were able to pull it off. You know, we were really adventurous on all sides of the ball. We found a way to win the grand final by points, and it was the most outrageous game of footy you'd ever seen in your life. Now, in the B and the A year, we tempered our approach to the game and our appetite for risk, and I suppose that 3-year journey, I learnt to try and implement controls depending on the opposition, what you felt like your team was capable of. And that's where, you know, it gets back to my and everyone else's enormous belief in our players that we could go to new lengths and new heights with our performance, and we could take on more risk, and that's what we did this year. The NAB challenge was an interesting period because we beat a really depleted Richmond side in the first one, but the actual numbers in the game were so far in our favour, yet we didn't win by that much. But there looked like our system was, you know, it was really starting to ferment and take hold. But definitely in the final NAB game against the Pies, when we wanted a full dress rehearsal for the start of the year, that was the game where we thought, okay, well, that's what it could look like.
that game against Collingwood, it was really our round one. The gel and the excitement around that game. I think Bevo spoke about how our season had started then.
We had the team meeting before the game and, you know, tactical and positions, and this is the team, you know. And then I thought the meeting was just about to finish up, and he said, I just want to leave you with one thing. He said, just prepare yourself, there's going to be an ambush tonight. Now, my initial thought was the opposition, that there's something we don't know about, they're coming to get us. And I kind of sit up a bit straighter, as I'm sure a lot of people did. And he said, and it's us. And it was that deep breath of, all of a sudden the horizon lifted a bit. And we went out and we ambushed them.
That was a great indicator, that game, that things were starting to fall into place and that people could see it, and the buy-in was pretty strong.
You know, that's planting a seed in a group, a collective thought. Maybe we're more than what we think we are. Maybe.
That moment, I think it changed the perception of what we could achieve as a group. And then we took that into round 1 and 2, and the rest is nearly history.
It's Dixon who goes forward, long ball again. Cordy caught behind, Rance got a fist on it. Chaplin, a little fumble again. Boyd, industrious, his big body. Advantage called, play on. Honeychurch gets the first of the afternoon.
Dogs have done well. Now the Tigers' kick is excellent. That's a beauty. Miles, he was too slow. Honeychurch got him. Good grab by Roughhead. Uses Morris, gets the footy back. Gee, that was dangerous. They're on here. To be precise, and they are on. So McRae's kick to the middle of the ground. Now the run of Easton Wood. The run and the carry can go long towards the top of the square. Dixon only needs to stand up. He's got it for the Doggies. To Stringer, that's a good kick again down the line, but well read by Batchelor. Crammering just struggling to get into this game. He spent a lot of the time watching the footy sail over his head, and now Floston. Oh, well done, Boyd. The old dog, he read it beautifully. This time it's on his boot. He's got time to steady, goes to Cramery. That one doesn't sail over his head. It sails through.
Stringer and Dixon, whether it was the sun or confusion, it's the Tigers that end up with the ball. Ranch bullets the handball. Hawley tries to get around Bontempelli. Bontempelli, brilliant again.
Marriage for Grimes. Now, is there a way through? There is. He did that brilliantly. Peddard, Hooley, Potchin. One too many. Well done, Murphy. Read it brilliantly. And now Honeychurch is on for the Bulldogs. Now, nothing inside 50. So he holds up wisely, dances around. Terrific kick to Dixon, who can go if he wants. Looks upfield and finds Stringer.
They just like his athleticism, his ability to play one-on-one with some of the big forwards. Here we go.
Dalhouse, high ball. Wallace at the back, just needed to be a little quicker, but it might not be too late. Stringer can't get stopped, can finish. Finally, Stringer kicks it, and the Bulldogs march on again.
Time to answer for the Tigers. The skipper, long ball inside 50. Dangerous times here for dog defenders. Boyd finds himself in the back 6. Flostone, terrific. Gordon over the top, wanted Revolt. Easton Wood, intercept. Now Honeychurch bullets the handball. Well done, Murphy. Found his man. So too Bontempelli. Jong, back it goes to Honeychurch. They're playing with a bit of confidence in the back 6 now. Now Murphy again. Who does he look for? Bulleting ball. Terrific stuff from Stringer. Clean hands again. Waited for it. Over the top. Jared Grant. It's all about the bounce. Easy as you like. Into the second deck. Stringer just pushed under the ball. Tried to get the umpire's attention. Rance to Gordon.
Oh, no.
A turnover. Bontempelli. A little give to Wallace. Now to Easton Wood. Wood on the right boot. Wood thumps it through. After a summer of discontent, the season so far has been filled with joy for the Dogs.
It's really hard to talk about your coach without, especially when there's been a change, without it seeming like a criticism of other people. So I say that, but you know, I kind of feel like Luke's the coach I always wanted to have. There's just something there. It's a bit like, this will seem, this is a stupid analogy, but there's that song, you know, that Bob Marley song, No Woman, No Cry. I think it's No Woman, No Cry, where he says, everything's gonna be all right. Now, 100 singers could sing that, but because it's him, you believe him. When he tells our team, our boys, that they're a good team and that we could be even better, we believe him. And I don't know why that is, but who cares? Who cares why it is?
Luke Beveridge is the Western Bulldogs' new coach. He's seen success, but most importantly, he's been a key player in driving successful cultures. Over the past 8 years, he's been directly involved in 6 premierships.
I didn't go in thinking I needed to change anything there. Obviously, I knew I needed to influence things, but I didn't want to come in and just say that this isn't right and that isn't right. I knew that there'd be a lot right, you know, and there's terrific people who work at our football club. In any change, you need some results. You need just little milestones met so you can implement it, you get that buy-in, it's okay, all right, this is working. And we had some of that, you know, over the first few weeks, the next month. The players are the regulators, making sure that their teammates continue to do the things that they expect them to do. That's when you're in a good place. If you can get it there pretty quickly, then your chances of success accelerate.
Throw in, or Thompson could have gotten away. Free kick against Bontempelli. That went unnoticed. Bontempelli goes in hard once again. Here's Dalhouse trying to bend one through, and he does. Jacobs to Ellis Yeoman. Now Thompson, but edged out of it by McRae. That was well done. Good hands to Picken. Picken gets it away to Lin Jong. He gets through some heavy traffic. Puts the bouncing ball out in front. And here's an opportunity now for Stevens. Kobe's kick is high and long. Stringers at the back. Has given it away. No, advantage is paid. He kicks the goal. He goes into the middle. It's somewhat dangerous. In fact, it's going to be very dangerous. Dalhouse has it. Tries to give it away to a teammate there. He does in Boyd, but he's mucked it up. He may get another chance. He gives it to Stringer. Stringer's inside 50. Now he's 40. He shoots for goal and puts through another one. Cordy. Picken was lurking. He had a fantastic first term. Murphy. Clear. He was inspirational too. Have a look at this kick. Straight into the middle towards Wood. He's clear. He goes long with a bomb towards Stringer.
Perfect football, Sandy.
Tory Dixon is the leading goal kicker for the year coming in. At the back, opportunity for McRae. And he had time to steady, but it didn't matter. He's kicked it anyway.
What a magnificent goal.
Smith's kick up towards the 50 and Boyd. No one down. Here's an opportunity for Dalhouse. Can he give it away? He wanted to give it away. He could have gone all the way himself, but Thompson intercepted, and the Crows for the moment are out of trouble. Back towards Smith, but he's going to be beaten for it. Kobe Stevens' hand pass was penetrating. Comes back to Crameri. Goes onto the left foot with a big bomb. Long, big fly from Stringer at the back. Couldn't take the mark. Bontempelli kicks the goal.
Jacobs just was handcuffed, got a little handball away, and the Dogs are able to storm again. Murphy, the call came from Johannesson. They just stay a step ahead of the game. Dalhouse, long, he's got Stringer in his sides. He's working, busting to get to the front. He did, and then
Hardigan
left it behind, and Stringer says, thank you very much.
Down the middle, finds his target there in Laird. Now they're away. In towards the centre, and that's a poor kick. Going to be chopped off by Wood. Lynch was the target. Wood was the recipient. Stringer's out of 50. Swings around now. Got to get past Hardigan. Does so with ease. 45 metres out. Drop punt on its way. He's got number 5.
Well handled. Thompson off the left boot after heavy work by Wright again. Big risk on the kick. They are explosive, the Bulldogs. The captain Murphy. He wants to pass to the man who's red, searing hot, Jake Stringer.
Goes to Wood, who ran on down. Here they go again. Bounce the 50 goes Mr. Picken. Picken's kick. Cramry. Boyd. Neither could take it. Cramry a second chance. Round the body. Snap is a beauty.
What a goal.
It's high up towards centre wing. Difficult one to mark. The Dalhouse hand pass came out the back. Ellis Yeoman couldn't control it. Bontempelli. Somehow he gets out of a tackle and gets the hand pass away. Dalhouse is clear. They go down towards Stringer. He'll kick number 6 this time. Sorry, Hutto, but he's going to. And he does. So good to see a club that has been down for so long to grab a scalp like this. It's not just a win. It's a big, big scalp.
This team was ready. I think after having years of being kicked around and losing, feel good about winning and got their sort of footy dignity back a bit. And there's a hunger to keep it going. But there's no doubt that Bevo has brought something else and what I would call spirit, you know.
I hadn't met him or hadn't heard of him, to be honest, and really had no idea what to expect. Had a couple of quick conversations with my cousin at Hawthorn, who Luke spent a few years with, obviously, in his time there. And first conversation I had, Jared just said, mate, you're going to love him.
Very loyal, very honest, very hard-working, very astute about the game.
I think what Luke's done this year is to make everyone bring their strengths to the fore. When you're encouraged to play to your strengths, you really get confidence and belief in yourself, and then belief in your teammates comes from that as well.
Just giving us the confidence to play with our natural ability and, you know, focus on what we bring to the side. So it's a lot more enjoyable actually getting the ball and, you know, helping the side and kicking a few goals. So it always helps.
We know where we stand with Luke. He's so honest and transparent that you want to play well for him. As much as he wants us to play well for each other, we want to play well for him.
I mean, you don't only have to have a quick conversation with him and meet him for the first time, and you walk away feeling like he genuinely was listening to what I was saying.
You want to be the best person you can be in that role because he expects it of you. It's a fair quality for a coach to have.
I don't really believe in this window that we talk about. Look, there's no doubt it's there, but there's no reason why you can't outperform other people's expectations, you know, quite early, as long as everyone believes they can and you're physically able.
Now, Shaw might have some issues here, some concerns. He has to wait, anxious moment, and turn the body, but missed his man. Rampy now has to follow it up. And Crammer's got a huge chance, which he takes with that left boot of his. Deadly as it is, scores a level. Well, this time Kennedy, well, he was in the middle of the crush, but somehow he got it out to Richards. Couldn't do a lot with it. Boyd, back to the square. And it's still dangerous. Stringer around the corner, and once again it's a snap goal. Employs the same tactics. Lloyd wore one but got the handball out, and John, this is where they go to work, and they are very hard to stop. Johannesson pumps it in. Stringer and Richards getting nervous. Ted got the first spoil in. Stringer though loves it on the ground. Richards is a great competitor, but Crammer is going to kick another one.
That's good.
They can't stop them at the moment. Then John over the top, still in a precarious position though. McVeigh back to Smith. One fumble is critical, and it's caused a goal. Honeychurch.
Well, it's just drizzling constantly. It's settled in now, boys. The conditions are going to be like this for the whole game.
Stringer.
Oh, this could work.
He's invented something, and what an invention it was!
An instep tall.
Cunningham with fresh legs, shares with Laidler. He decides to blast. It's a one-on-one. It's young Roberts.
Oh, well done.
Took Tippett to the footy, took the mark. Robert on the mark. Rampy prepared to kick. Oh, reeled in by Bontempelli. It was a strange decision. He's done it before at critical moments, even in his young career. And here he is on the line again, Marcus Bontempelli. It's close. Well, no, it's not. It's a goal just when the Dogs needed it. Again, it's down to Franklin. Talia with him. Talia battles gamely. Back to Buddy. Out of my way, but they refuse to yield. Good stuff by both teams. Parker to Lloyd. It's ahead of him, but they stop another one, the Dogs. They won't die. They won't give in. They'll come again. One after another after another.
Missed it.
And McVeigh's missed.
Bontempelli, Kennedy muscles him out of it. Hammerbury just eases it into the 50. Adam Goods, Luke Parker. Luke Parker can't get it through. Goods has another crack. They go to ground, hurled out. Harry Cunningham. Mr. C puts it through, and the Swans are in front. Comes through to Lloyd. Stevens tracks it back to the wing. Now Murphy again refuses to be rushed. Wants the best for his team. Makes it hard for the Sydney Swans. It's there up for grabs. Dalhouse conjured something, and it's through.
He's kicked the goal. Well, we're going to have a goal review. Was it touched?
Swans have to win it. They can't make any mistakes from here. It's possible.
What a kick.
It is possible now. McVeigh, 13 seconds.
Just a foot race.
Oh, it's on. Chase. Chase for your life as hard as you can. The flashpoint 5 seconds out. They'll hang on, the Dogs. They are going to hang on. Mark this date down, Western Bulldogs fans. Saturday, May the 2nd, 2015. This club. This is just amazing. Look at these scenes.
As a singular game, it's easily the best game.
How do you not get emotional about footy? That's one of the best. It's the best game best win I've ever been a part of.
The thing I should have said, which I wish I had said, was that it's the best game for this group. Who gives a shit about whether it was my best win? Who cares? No one cares about that. But the win for this group is the best one we've had because it might mean something else for the future. That's why I got so excited. And I don't regret that, you know, that's... Keeping in mind, it was the greatest thing ever in civilization at that moment. I pulled it back to the greatest game I've ever played.
I enjoy seeing the looks on people's faces and the sentiment you know you get caught up in. But then you take a reality check and you know it's only round 5 or there's so much further you know that we need to go and that we need to progress before we have a sniff of anything. Because it's just next week, you know. And there's next week, and then there's next week. You just got to keep heading down this road.
That's what it's about. On to the next one, you know. See if we can handle it, and then rip into it again.
This for the lead after trailing by 49 points. The goal umpire barely moves. Billings is at the back. Billings is 45 out. He steadies low, keeps it low, and kicks the goal. This is phenomenal. The Saints have got up off the canvas and have scored an unlikely but heroic win.
Oh, you've got to give the Saints credit. The agony and the ecstasy, really. I mean, there's been lots of positives already this year, and we need to dwell on them as much as possible. Again, we had a good first half. They just kept coming, and credit to them. The Saints were just too good for us in the second half, and hopefully we learn from it. There's no doubt that people perceive me as, I think, vague at the start and too measured because I just didn't know how to answer media questions around things that I hadn't been involved in, and I needed context. But I don't know, and I'm not sure whether I really care. You know, there's no doubt you do care about what people think about you, but as long as people think that I've got the best interests of our players and our club at heart, and that's all that matters, then that's going to be okay with me.
Clay Smith just did his knee again, guys.
Devastating news for Smith, his name.
Yeah, it's tragic. It's probably difficult for me to talk about it because it's a pretty emotional incident.
It's not fair, you know. It's not fair. I think, you know, we have this, this unjustified expectation that it all evens out in the end. That, you know, you have your turn and everyone has their turn of, you know, being hurt and they come back, and Clay already had his turn. He's had it twice. You know, we lost 4 points, but to lose a teammate, lose a soldier, yeah, that'll I don't know what the long-term effect of that is, but it's pretty heartbreaking. In 7 days, you get the full spectrum, you know. But just as you don't get carried away last week, you can't get carried away this week, you know. We've got to, you know. It's a long year and it's just reality. Get a whack. The Saints were good, too good. Can't complain about it. And then, you know, we're the best team ever. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. Thanks, honey.
I did, for the first time in a few months, just the other day, look at a replay of the Sydney game, the Sydney last quarter, and some of the footage that followed it. And you go back to the game now and say that a lot of the magic of that game stood on its own. I mean, those are some of the most riveting, exciting sporting contests I've ever seen. And that, you know, can I say credit to Anthony Hudson? Like that commentary.
Chase for your life as hard as you can. The flashpoint 5 seconds out. They'll hang on, the Dogs. They are going to hang on. Mark this date down, Western Bulldogs fans. Saturday, May the 2nd, 2015.
There's obviously great games in history. They don't all involve us. I reckon that for a lot of Bulldog supporters, there'll never be another game like that. And it's great to look back on.
When we went up to Sydney and beat them at the SCG in the wet, which they're so good at, that's where I remember we were having dinner after it as a team, and we were just like, wow, we're actually pretty good here. Like, we could actually do some good things.
To have a young team go up there like that in those conditions and to play that way and win the game of footy will be the line in the sand for them. And it, you know, really did show very quickly how Luke and his coaching team taught them a very different brand of footy in those conditions, but good enough to win.
Because a lot of the times, you know, young and developing, maturing sides don't win those close games. You know, you just fall short. So I think that's why it's such an important win, because of the odds. When the odds are against you and you really meet the challenge head on, there's no doubt that you grow a hell of a lot from the belief you get from that.
We're a very young team, and over the course of this year, we've actually gone down in games played, we've gone down in age, and our performance has just gone the other way. So the two axes are that doesn't work like that normally.
To go up against those guys on their home deck, in front of a home crowd, and no one backed us, and we just went out and played how we did with amazing spirit. Makes you feel so proud to be out there in the Bulldogs colours and to be representing the footy club and the fans and everyone who's involved with our great club.
And to be able to share it with your mates that no one expected anything of. And I mean, the 20 minutes after the siren, as exhausted as we all were, it was up there as the best 20 minutes of my life. Just the looks on blokes' faces, the absolute exhaustion, absolute fatigue, mixed with this sort of joy and belief that I think that was the moment that we sort of started to see that we could actually take it up, and this year could become something pretty special.
It's a game that not only stands out for this year, but really stands out throughout my whole career as one of the best games I've ever played in, one of the best wins I've been involved in.
It'll live for a while in the memory banks, but we hope that we can fry some fish over the immediate future, and that doesn't seem like it was such a big occasion.
The Dockers have hung on, but only after an almighty fight to try and hold off this determined Bulldog outfit.
From the time I was a young boy, I used to always go into the rooms in the country football. I'd be, you know, in amongst the players and sort of looking at them and seeing what they were doing and all that sort of thing. I idolised them.
I love John Schultz. I love him. He's not just a great Bulldogs man, he's a great man. Loves the footy club, loves the players. He just comes into the rooms before the games and he just, you know, just stands up the back. You know, he's gentleman John Schultz.
In 1957, I had the opportunity, in as much as I was invited to come down to Footscray and play in a practice game, which I did, and that led me to signing up with the club and commencing in 1958. It's not just at the time that you're at the club, but the friendships you make while you're at the club last you pretty well for the rest of your life.
I love running out to play for the Bulldogs and thinking, whether it's imaginary or not, that Terry Wheeler's in the stand, John Schultz, Doug Hawkins, all those guys. I sort of imagine they're all there watching and you want to do them, you know, you want to do the jumper proud. When my draft came into the football club, the footy club organised for John to speak to us, and he talked about what the club meant to him. He talked about the duty that you've got as a player. There's an expectation and a duty of representing the jumper, and they're important seeds, I reckon, to plant in a young footballer's mind.
Wouldn't matter what sort of a side you had, whenever you went out to play, you always thought that you were going to win. You know, you didn't ever think, oh, we're not going to win today. That was never in the psyche.
There it is. Melbourne winners on a Sunday afternoon against the odds.
You feel it. You feel it at the time. I haven't been through a footy season where I haven't at least hit a trough at some point. Just as important was to, or more important was just to drag ourselves out of it. And the GWS game was good for that.
How are you, Luke?
How you going, everyone?
We went from being 4-1 to 4-4, and we're disappointed in that. We're just looking for a more consistent approach, or more consistent contribution across 4 quarters. If we don't find that, then we're going to find it tough.
On the flip side, Ryan Griffin playing against you guys tomorrow. What do you expect from the Bulldogs fans?
I think he's probably expecting a few boos, and our supporters will, it's just part of the romance and the emotion and the energy in our game, and that great connection between fans and their club. And
thanks, Luke. Good luck.
All right, she's on at Etihad Stadium. So much history between these sides in the short number of years, the Giants and the Bulldogs.
It was weird to see him in the other jumper. Kind of made me sad, I got to say. Sad and with a twist of pissed off.
There's picking there.
McRae, hoping for Dixon. Bug had his hands full. Wallace, excellent to Dalhouse. So clever and crafty around the goal face. And Wallace receives in the Boyd direction again. Call forward on Gamely. It's a big size difference down there. It's something that it appears the Bulldogs are going to try and pepper away at if they can. Rovat just hurled it out to Wallace, and Wallace has kicked a goal! And that's 4 for the Dogs. Good wrestle between Patfull and Minson. McRae, they're inside 50 again, picking off the left.
Did you know the Giants with that deep midfield will finish fairly strong. Well done, Roughhead. Big sliding mark across the pack.
Scanelia, now they're out. And on the wing, running Whitfield. Hoskin-Elliott, straight to Boyd. Magnificent tackle.
Left Toby Green to come up and get him. Took the risk and paid dividends.
Quick snap again. Big Will, what a game. Spots Griffin at the last moment. That was look at this, the snappy hands, and Murphy finishes it with a happy snap.
It was a bloody good day for our team and our season.
I love lots of things about the club, but one of the things I love about it is that it's probably a part of history where the world has changed quicker than any other time in history. And yet there is something enduring about the Bulldogs. We were always battling above our weight. We were always the team that was kind of second team to a lot of people and was patted on the head and every now and then threatened. The feeling and the image of a big, dense group of people who are obviously passionate Bulldog people, saluting a win, feeling happy, applauding the team off the field, is a unique feeling. It's a feeling of, this is my tribe, these are my people, and somehow I've done my job, or I've ticked a box here.
We knew that probably our crowd, our fans, our supporters would feel some emotion there, but it was important that we were disciplined. It was important that we concentrated on playing football, and we did that. We need to make sure that we bring what we did today every week, which is our challenge.
It's almost miraculous in a way when you think where we were, and we're all a bit despondent, I think, with the way things ended up last year, and to resurrect it, it's to the credit of the club and the players that they've been able to achieve what they've achieved.
It was a tough night. There was nothing in it to three-quarter time, but when the game needed to be won, the power was sensational.
Most of my life lessons have been learnt through footy, and even in junior days where all those situations that you confronted as a kid and the challenge of, getting through disappointment, pick yourself up and believe and persist. And it's an intangible, but you sort of always, you thank the game and the fact that it's there, because I wouldn't be who I am without it. The journey over the Westgate I've driven it so many times that it's almost like you're crossing into your homeland as far as the Bulldogs go, and there's no doubt as a coach this time I've embraced that a hell of a lot more than I did as a young guy coming over here for the first time as a player. The Whitten Oval has changed and evolved, and the Doug Hawkins wing's still there, and great Charlie Sutton and EJ Whitten and all their teammates, they've all played on it, and our blokes train on it. But you hope that they latch on to little messages and they want to one day look back and know that they've achieved something as a group and as individuals. So the fact that they can make history as well, it's important. Great to have Johnny Schultz in the room, boys. It's a real pleasure to have you here today, John. In John's days and the teams he played in, the week-to-week competition, the wins and the losses, didn't win all the time. But at some point, the group, the men that he played with, could look at each other in the eye and just know that everyone in the room trusted each other, and you knew you were going to get a leading contribution. Tonight's another night where the knowing just grows a little bit more. And we're creating our own future. So that's our challenge tonight, as a group, on this journey. In the trials and tribulations of the week to
The only reason you're there as a club is to win a premiership. And that's the focal point of everyone. And we've never got to lose sight of that fact that whilst it's great to be part of the club, the whole focus of everyone associated with the club is for us to win another premiership.
Tough kick, and that's where he was signifying to where he might drop it. Roughhead quite aware, offhand sticks and round the corner, goal. Got another one here, the Bulldogs. They lead. The way this game's been played, haven't seen goals kicked in succession. The smother effective back in the direction of Stringer. Dale working hard, Farron Ray, Hambleton didn't gear his head. Now Gilbert steps through from traffic. It got through the Wallace tackle, then Stringer got him. The package got him. He wants to get it moving. He's got a target on his own. And this is Lucas Webb. This is his 8th game of AFL football, yet to kick a goal. Lucas Webb from 35 metres out. Lucas Webb kicks his first, and the margin now, 21 points. Montagna to Armitage. Armitage goes the little low one. G picked it up wonderfully well. There, Rewalt back to Montagna. Here they go. Bruce on the lead. Eastonwood. They're down to 28 seconds. There's the runner in the middle of it. He's told the players. Up goes Rewalt. Weller offhand. We'll get it to Rewalt. What's Rewalt got left? Handball to Montagna. The entry inside 50. Not quite there. I think that might be enough. The Dogs will hold it. The package has got it. And the Dogs are going to get home here. Luke Beveridge and the Western Bulldogs are going to get home.
The biggest perk / the only perk of being captain is that after every game I get an email from John, and it's one of the highlights of my week. You know, it's that, you know, it's like the little kid opening the pack of the footy cards again. It's like, check your inbox. John Schultz. Saturday, May the 2nd, 10:52 p.m. Congratulations, Bob. That was a magnificent team effort. Go well, John.
Well, I was listening to a talk by Sir Henry Winnicky when he was alive, and he was addressing a football gathering, and he said, football is the common denominator of all people, and it doesn't matter from what walk of life you come. In a football sense, you can all relate to each other. You can talk on a common ground, and that's very true. And I think that's probably one of the best things about the game. It doesn't matter what your station in life is. You can communicate one with the other because of football.
Congratulations, Bob, to you and the team. That was a wonderful performance. Bulldog followers are all walking taller with you because of that immense effort. Do not reply, play with the children. Regards, John. How good's that?
As soon as you come home, it's just nothing about footy even comes to my mind. It's just all about enjoying time with the family, and I suppose it's probably made me mature more and think about life more. To see her face every time you walk in the door, the joy that she gets from just seeing you. You could be having the worst day at the club, and then you come home and see her and everything's just wiped. You end up smiling and laughing, and it just lifts everything off your shoulders. I suppose you get the kids that are very determined and, you know, just want success, but I just loved playing, and that was me. I just enjoyed it, and I just enjoy having fun on the weekend, no matter whether it's playing VFL, AFL or country footy. It's all the same, it's just enjoyable.
Opportunity now, comes for Dalhouse again. Mongrel's inside 50, Jakey Stringer to turn his man around, get it over the shoulder. Gee, it bounced up and he's done the incredible. Can Bontempelli grab it? Oh, clever handball, pirouetted in the one direction, Stringer comes through. He wants another one, he wants a bag of 5. Jakey Stringer, can he do it? He's got 5, the package. Jake Stringer Bulldogs by 55.
Probably not until your second or third year that you really start going, wow, I'm all about this club, and this is the club that you want to stay for the rest of your life. You don't want to move on or move away from.
Grant on the run. The slingshot here, Dixon. Marks, takes Jamison on. A little bit of boot on ball was enough. Coast to coast for the Dogs.
Carlton have just defended them really well. Here's a chance where they might get through.
Bontempelli. Handball over the top. Stevens under pressure. Back to Bontempelli. This time to Stringer. The package around one. Lets it rip from 55 metres out. I'm telling you, this man brings heaps to the table. Nice handball to Simpson on his favoured left side. Gee, that kick has to be really good when you've got Rob Murphy right hanging off the back here. Boyd, the 250-gamer, just picks it up and goes bang! They've got 4 in a row, the Dogs. He's got Wallace short, goes long. Stringer's got White to beat. Stringer over the top! Play on, said the umpire. Ball spills free. There he is again. Daniel to Wallace.
Well done.
Wallace around the corner, and the Dogs by 21. Siren sounds. Matty Boyd in game 250. And the Western Bulldogs have won and done very, very nicely.
I remember being a little kid, and even now, so if I smell the smell of football leather, it takes me straight back to being a little kid and being in that bedroom, and I would spend my weekends, out the front of our house, just kicking the footy up into the power lines, and it would just drop down, and I'd start a game that was in my imagination. I'd commentate, and I played for Richmond, and we always won, and I always kicked 10 goals. It never got old. It looks a lot different now, but that was the tree with the power pole. They were the goals. It was probably too big a jump for me, The day before, you're collecting footy cards, and the next day you might be on a footy card. I lost all perspective. I reckon I kicked the footy out here more than 10,000 hours. I just remember getting to the football club. I remember having a moment when I walked into the doors, and I remember saying, I don't want to leave until I'm, recognised as a Bulldogs player. That was kind of the mission.
Kick on the way, he's got the journey and the accuracy. Have a look at the Dogs come from everywhere and get to the little man.
I didn't actually hear who I went to, so I just heard my name and heard Caleb Daniel, South Adelaide Football Club, and the family cheered and gave me a big hug. And so I didn't even know what pick I was, what club I went to, but from the moment I walked in the club, it was really exciting. And I suppose you walk the corridors and there's other blokes that have played 250 games here and coaches that you've looked up to since you were a young fella that are walking around with you. So it hits home that this is your work now, like it's your life pretty much.
That's great to see.
I just tell the first gamers what Matthew Croft told me in my first game. It's okay to have a smile on your face. Don't sort of miss it by pretending to be what you think you should be. It's okay to be an 18-year-old kid and look around and go, holy shit, it's happened. It's one of the best things about footy clubs is that the passing of the baton.
Number 35, it's not really one of those revered numbers within the club. I think there's about 30 of us who have worn it in the time of the club, in the history of the club. So those 30 blokes, what this jumper and number do, it reminds us of the times in our life when we were truly warriors. This is the time in your life where you are truly a warrior. Once I give you this, you will take a huge responsibility. Not only for those 30-odd blokes who've worn number 35, but more importantly for the link into this unit of the Western Bulldogs AFL side that plays from here on in every week. You have a responsibility. And it is you, it is only you who can take charge of that responsibility. And at the start of every day, you're the one that has to stand up and look in the mirror and say whether you did it to the best of your ability. From my age now, it's hard to imagine that I was once like you. And Callum, I want you to take this jumper, champ, and I want you to ensure that you take on the responsibility which comes with it. And each and every day you take responsibility for the way in which you perform.
They bring a special energy, the youth, and they're doing it together, they're coming through together. That's one of the greatest things. And the older guys, myself and Gia and Dale Morris and Matthew Boyd, the message we kept trying to push was that if we stick at it, if we keep working, if we stick together, eventually it will turn. And when it does turn, it'll be the ride of your life.
They really need that injection of spirit and run.
Like game needs it. We need the Bont to fire up and kick one.
Well, he has fired up, and he has kicked one.
Well, you just never know.
Kicking back to half forward.
Good sponge.
Good defiance shown by Thompson.
Oh, well done.
Bontempelli slides his way through. Defenders need to defend with all their life here. And Wallace stayed afloat. Couldn't mark. Riscatelli kept playing on its merits, but Johannesson bats it back for the Bulldogs. Danger man. Bontempelli, he can kick it 65 to 70 metres to half forward. Stringer in the right spot at the right time, and he fights on against May. Removed him, little Daniels come through. Back to Jake Stringer. Now's the time to kick it.
Jake.
Now's the time, Jake. He can curl it too.
When you're winning and it's all in sync, you know, it's a beautiful thing.
Morris goes tumbling into the turf. Murphy handled it once, Murphy handled it twice, and his kick was shaped to absolute perfection. Dalhouse, what a build-up. Grand entry into the 50. Who better than the Bontempelli? Ablett's there, Ablett's ready. Couldn't get it to boot. Boyd, it's still bobbling around. Now it's not. Johannesson and Murphy, are you happy to wait and just do it bit by bit? Stringer through the middle. Skimming kick into the 50. It's there for Dalhouse. The legs are pumping. Lonigan tries. He tries, but nothing can stop these dogs. The siren sounds. An extraordinary game of football. An extraordinary quarter of football by the team there. The Western Bulldogs on the road. They seem down and out. More than 6 goals down at one stage in the third term. But they have come from the clouds, 10 goals to 2 in the last, and they've got home by 22 points. And they remain on target to play finals football.
Marcus is one of 4 children. He's number 3, so he has 2 sisters older than him and 1 younger than him. I think he might have liked a brother in there somewhere, but unfortunately for him, it's all girls. And I think they've done a great job in bringing him up with us.
We all look forward to the game and what comes with it. We do. We all get ready, get up on Saturday or Sunday or whatever day or time the game is. And I started with Auskick, with little tag ago, they'd freeze my butt off in research. Started from there and just kept going, and it just kept going and going and got better, and yeah, this is where it ended up, and yeah, it was just an amazing ride.
I think Marcus was drafted on a Thursday night, so that would have been 2013, and we were all present, 6 of us. Yeah. Everyone just made us feel so welcomed. I think I asked,
remember that.
You know, like, has anyone got an idea of what number he's going to be? And they knew what number it was.
It was excitement. It was just all excitement.
They just welcomed us all as a family, and it hasn't stopped.
No. For me, I was a little bit saddened by it. It's like you're losing your boy a little bit, or your child, because they're sort of going to the next level, to another family. There's a gain, but there's a loss for a parent What you've got to do is what I've thought is I've got to embrace it. I've got to, yeah, this is good. It's not just him, it's us. It's everybody. We're all moving forward with this.
It's probably been one thing I've enjoyed the most. I was lucky enough to, I guess we're all lucky enough to ride the bumps together. I still lived at home for 2 years. It's got so many more elements now that the game than what it did sort of when I was a kid, and I guess a bit of what I've been able to experience, probably Mum, Dad and the girls have had a taste of too.
Now Bontempelli, the star, shakes the tackle, got to go on the left boot, distance not a problem, it's just a class act.
It's a bit unbelievable how much they've achieved this year under all of that turmoil. So a credit to everybody there, the coaches and all the other people that have been there, to be able to lead these boys and let them believe in themselves still and achieve that. You're just proud to be a part of it, and hopefully the morals we've instilled in him will carry on no matter where he is or who he's with. We couldn't be more proud of him as a person, not just as a footballer, for the things he wants to achieve. And hopefully, being an AFL football player, he'll be able to put his best foot forward in a lot of areas of his life.
The Dogs currently 7th, and they want to hold their spot in the 8th. The Pies, on the other hand, they win today. They jump from 11 to 7.
When I was president in the 90s, I used to get really stressed about the games. And then in the 16 years that I was not president, I'd actually enjoy games. And I'd be driving home even after a loss, hearing David Smorgan trying to give some explanation for what went wrong and laughing to myself and saying, Kerry's better him than me. And one of the reasons I was quite happy to take it back was because I thought I'd got over that now. But if anything, I'm worse.
He's at full back. Dangerous kick once again towards Oxley. He's going to lose it. Here's Bontempelli, and he makes them pay.
And but that's not against the law. No, that's a cues the umpire used, though, isn't it, at times? Yes. There is a subtle difference. Turvey tries to get the run of it. Didn't really plan on that. Stringer, he makes his own rules. Jack Stringer kicks it to half forward. Dogs on the break again. Hunter off the left. Cranberry come up now. Will he run or will he go? He sees the goals. He handballs into the square. What wonderful team play by the Western Bulldogs. Couldn't mark. Dalehouse was claimed immediately. It's hard to get a free look at the footy right now. Little handball from Murphy, uses Biggs, and now Daniel, short and effective. Stringer, big blow, big, strong kick, Cranberry!
Beautiful grab.
The lead back to 7. So the Pies have kicked the last couple. Stringer,
like a square.
Bursting through, and then he gave a bit of a shove to Marley Williams in disgust. Goes and wins it again, hacks it inside 50. They are so dangerous. Little handball, Dixon back to Dalehouse, into the square. It's all about the bounce, and the bounce is true. Pruden waited, and then the handball was on. Johannesson, we know what a darting, running player he is. And Hunter's looking in good touch today as well. Linking up with Murphy, had to wait longer than he wanted to, but didn't panic. And eventually something materialised inside 50. The path open for Dixon. A Sunday stroll for Tory, off the left.
Big's kick is okay, and they're able to wobble it down towards the wing. Tory Dixon's in trouble. Picken also under the pump. But he gets boot to ball to Wallace, who's got Dalhouse running, and he's still running. Gives it off to Hunter. Boy, they're moving this quickly. Look at that. This to stretch the lead to 11 points. And that's better. That's better. Redpath gets his first. Well, here we go, second half. It's an 11-point ball game favouring the Dogs.
It's an incredibly lonely place, basement level B3, because you know there's 30,000 people above you, but you're there kind of by yourself. I like the inability to know what the score is. I like the serendipity of knowing that the fate of my team is being decided up there and I'm going to know it one way or another soon. And it's the best way I know to deal with my complete impotence to influence the result at this time.
Kennedy, dangerous. Daniel got it!
It means so much more to you to win or lose when you carry you feel like you carry the responsibility of the club and its marketing and its membership and its respect and its credibility and its relevance on your shoulders. It's probably a mistake for me to feel like that. We are a club of hundreds of thousands of people doing our own thing to support the club. But it's also a strength that I feel that way. So I'm not ashamed of it.
And it underlines again that this Western Bulldogs resurgence is very, very real.
This year I keep coming back to this thought in my head whenever and it's a question I ask myself and a question I ask of players and staff, and they're difficult conversations, but they're sort of centred around this idea of, are you all in? And Peter's all in. He deserves as much of the credit as anyone.
But what a season it is becoming. The Dogs continue to bark loudly.
And I'm really pleased for Peter because just about more than anyone else, he put his balls on the line and stepped up to the plate when things were sort of going pear-shaped at the end of last year.
Robert Murphy, the skipper.
You know, I've been injured before and watched the game and watched the team playing, but this time it did feel different. I haven't missed a game for a couple of years, so I haven't watched this team. This team does feel very different to ones that I've played in before, so I got to sit and watch.
It's a feeding frenzy. 5 goals in a row to the Dogs.
And it was pretty bloody exciting, I have to say.
Right now, they are 4th on the AFL ladder, and right now, it's hard to see where their ceiling is.
For you blokes to be able to do what you've done, it's enormous. It's why we're currently 4th on the ladder. It's outstanding. Rest up. Rest up and enjoy. Make sure we go and have something to eat, a quiet drink, and enjoy the people around you, enjoy everyone in the room. Recover well, get your balance right, off field, on field, and look after each other.
Really proud of Luke, really proud of the job that he's done. Murph is a captain, but you know, from the ground up, every one of these kids, the older blokes, the younger blokes, we started from a pretty low base back in October. You know, we had a few nasty things being said about us, and you don't set out to, you know, with an objective of proving those things wrong, but I feel so good for the people who stuck by us.
Sends it high, up in front, not quite the mark. Wallace on the deck. Lin Jong is second, and they've got 11.
It's about that thought I keep having. Are we all in? And it does feel like we're all in. So if someone falls down, we either pick them up or someone steps straight into that spot.
Morris to Biggs. Biggs inside 50. Big goal from Biggs.
You know, we've had losing seasons and 10 wins ain't going to do it.
The Bullies will bring up victory number 13 for the year. Where will this season end?
It's always going to be motivation to sort of stick it up the bigger fellas, and if you're good enough, you're big enough, I guess, and you've got to think positively of yourself, and you've always got to be confident in your abilities. Can't doubt yourself for any moment of time.
Was it inside attacking 50? Easton Wood, he is in all-Australian form this year.
Easton, he falls into the same boat as everyone else in that you're trying to teach something new, and you're wanting your players to grab a hold of it and take it where they can. You don't know what's going to eventuate, you don't know how far they can take it, and Easton took it to significant heights.
Wood might get there, and he does.
I was probably taught to negate as much as I possibly could and just to stop an opponent, I suppose. Whereas he's probably come in and encouraged the side of, you know, win the ball back. It's easier to defend when you've got the ball. And he really encourages you to explore aspects of your game that might not have thought were strengths.
He just explored his game within the boundaries of what we wanted to do, and he blossomed.
That's the thing that the players are loving the most, is that they're not just one-dimensional. It's surprised me how quickly Luke and his coaching team have been able to deliver that message and for the player to grab hold of that and just become a launching pad for not just pretty good footy, some extraordinary football.
Taylor Walker's ready to leap it.
For me, when it comes back to instinct, it's just ball in air, see ball, get ball. And if it's anything more complicated than that, it's too late. Go out there and be completely in the moment so I can react as quick as I can to whatever's thrown at us, because that's the game. It's never the same.
Densay's Easterwood flies over the top.
We just take our hats off to him because he's become one of the most outstanding defenders in the competition, and his application and his courage, I mean, he's got extreme courage, has amounted to an All-Australian year and a Charlie Sutton medal.
He hasn't come back from getting knocked over the boundary, Liberatore.
Yeah, he's got problems with his left knee, Jace. This is a real concern down here on the boundary line.
It's been an interesting year. It's been a very good year. It's been hard. It's been awesome. It's been happy. It's been sad. It's kind of had it all, really. So it was all happened so quickly. I didn't really think much about it immediately. Just kind of had a big pop and then turned to the boundary line and just kind of got up and hobbled off, thinking, oh, I could just jab my knee or something. And then Jake came over and just gave a little test and said, nah, you're done. So when I was driving home, I was like, oh, you know, season's over or whatever, but didn't sink in to that extent until I actually saw the games were winning, or saw the games that, you know, I couldn't play in. You do have moments of internal sadness of missing out on that feeling when they walk, like watching them walk in the rooms after the game, sing a song, like that's something you really want to be a part of, but it's never everlasting. Like, it's when you come in here and train and do your rehab, it's such a good place to be at. So, and to see your closest mate succeed, it just makes you happy. It's the first time I've been able to see blokes from the outside of week to week what they go through. I mean, I know that internally from playing for 4 years, but even watching from the sideline, from a coaching perspective as well, you realise how hard it is to, I suppose, maintain a bunch of young blokes and get them to get up every week. I can't even explain how pumped we are and how excited myself and Kobe and Clay are to get back next year, because I've been so proud of everyone and their achievements coming from last year. And yeah, I'll probably just feel like a little kid running around again, just chasing the footy.
I'm a little bit ashamed to say that I'm probably not that easy to live with during the footy season.
And it's a monster win, 98 points. The bark just gets louder from the Dogs. Where will this season end?
You know, when players talk about either 10 minutes after a win, there's a piece to that, because after that 10 minutes, the hum, the little buzz of tension is back, because you've got another mountain to climb in 6 days, 7 days. My wife is very honest. She could even be accused of being brutally honest, and she has said before that athletes are inherently selfish, and she's so right. We are.
It's annoying. Drives me crazy. I go through phases where, oh, football is the most important thing in our life and I have to support him and make sure everything's easy for him. And then sometimes I think, that's not fair. That's ridiculous. I have a life, we have children, kind of ebb and flow in how I think about football. Football dictates our life, so football season is really routine. Everything revolves around when he trains, when they play.
What we're eating, sleep. They don't sound like big things, but that can wear people down.
He's a great father. Sometimes I get annoyed because he can be physically present, but not mentally present.
I got that, I don't know whether you'd call it hyper-focus, but kind of tuned into that football radio station a lot. So putting the bins out on a Thursday, for example, can seem like an insurmountable task, because I'm thinking about playing on Mark Lacroix or where I should stand at a point kick-in, these sort of things. The big issues.
But it matters not. The siren sounds. A West Coast warning to the rest of the competition. And they are going to be a massive threat in September.
Not until we got together, even then, I kind of didn't embrace it. I didn't go to games, didn't want it to take over my life. But when he did his knee, I realised how big it was, that it wasn't something I could ignore. He was down, he wanted to be playing and couldn't play, and that showed me that it was the biggest part of his life, I think, so I had to embrace that.
It's not always convenient. In fact, it's rarely convenient, which is one of the things, you know, we talk about to the other players of playing AFL footy is uncomfortable and inconvenient. If you want to be all in. If you don't want to be all in, well, it can be, you know, in for the lifestyle. But I would argue that you'll never quite fulfilled.
I guess getting drafted out of the VFL 2s and off the rookie list, and I was pretty rapt to play one game. There's lots of other people out there who'd love to be doing what we're doing, and I think as you get older, you just really want to savour that and enjoy every single moment. And when it comes time to perform and to get out there and to work and to train and to keep yourself fit and healthy, then you take it really seriously. You just make an investment in, you know, your career. You make an investment in the club, and you try to repay the faith that the club's shown in each of us. I probably didn't rate myself as a player. I didn't believe in myself that I could play at the level, but there were some people here who did, and that means a hell of a lot to me. It's for someone to, I don't know, to back you in when you can't even back yourself in. It means that, you know, I owe this club a lot.
Come at it hard, be ready for it. We know that no one in here would ever give up. Because every time we do something well, you are there. Because of you, I never give up. It's that spirit that we've got. So when you go out there today, you want your teammates to think of you like that. Because of me, my teammates will never give up. We all need to be like that. Let's go, boys.
All is in readiness for two teams who could meet in an elimination final in 2 weeks from now. Puts it to a good spot here, and a good pluck by Bontempelli. Playing against his cousin Nick D'Alessandro today, still only 19 years of age. They needed that. Cool head, delivers on cue.
Wouldn't want to underestimate him as a contested marker in the goal square. He can surprise.
Picken. Bontempelli. Stringers out wide. McRae. There's no one in the square. He might go for home. Centering kick. Discipline kick. Dixon. Subs today. Zane Cordy for the Dogs in his first AFL game. And Sam Gibson for North Melbourne. If you've just joined us, neither have been used just yet. Dogs inside 50. Hansen gets there. Kramer the steal. Couldn't get him running. Wallace feeds it wide. Stringer. Oh, the freak show gets going. Look out. Four goals in a row for the Dogs. Left it behind. Red tried to break through the tackle. McRae scoots it out Dalhouse out, Hunter again. Webb bombs it. Goal square, Johannesson, the pluck. 46 games and now 11 goals, and they've kicked 5 in a row, the Dogs. A big moment for these two teams. Still a chance of 4th spot as their ladder finish for 2015. Goldstein. Bontempelli read it well. Danced his way through traffic with style. Gets around Zeeble. Spins away from Jacobs. Kicks toward half forward to Stringer. Can't quite half volley him. Takes on Gibson. Stripped him.
2 missed tackles in a row there, Dwayne.
Pickin. He could go for home.
Oh, brilliant.
Brilliant reply. Inside to Murphy. Hands it off. Henderson's already had a sider. And he nails this one. Jacobs dragged down. Stringer takes off the back of the square. Has a bounce. Puts the Jets on. Could go for home. He's got plenty on it. Goal square mark. That'll do. This is their 14th win of 2015 for the Dogs. So twice the wins as last year. They're twice the team as last year. And the fairy tale keeps growing.
This won't come as a shocker that, you know, after a game of footy you're pretty knackered, but that was a really tough, that was a tough one. It was a physical one. I feel like I've been hit by a bus, to be honest.
You know, there's a lot of people you take along for the ride. That's a big part of what keeps you going, and it's a big part of what kept me going in the dark days.
Even as a kid, people have just followed him. He might do something ridiculous and what's considered really geeky, and suddenly people are like, oh, okay, is that what we're doing? And suddenly this crowd is in the choir, crowd of footy boys in the choir, something like that. He's just had that quality right from a kid. And so now to have that in official role and just be bringing that to all of these young kids was nice.
I think the thing that's really surprised me is how easy it's been for people to follow him. Because he's not the traditional leader. He's not a robust Lee Matthews, doesn't say much, you just follow him. Because if you don't, you're going to know about it. He's just an empathetic, beautiful person who really cares for people, and that's been enough for people to just get in behind him and follow him.
He's just like a second dad, really. I mean, he just helps everyone out. He's got me reading books and drinking coffee and all that sort of thing, so he's turned me into a bit of a more mature person. I think he's done a lot to the other young kids as well. He understands what it means to be a player, what it means to be a part of the culture, the history of the entire place. I haven't seen a player that appreciates or understands that better.
Everybody has loved Bob, but the question was, well, could he actually be a captain of the club? Well, he's been, in one short year, one of the best captains we've had. And I don't say that lightly, because you've got to remember what happened at the end of last year, to take those players on this journey and actually to be so empathetic and communicate so well with those players. It's an extraordinary leadership style that he has, but it's beautiful to watch at the same time.
When you walk into the footy club and when you're around people in the colours, it's one of the things, the longer you're a part of it, and I've been going for a long time now, that it does feel like family. It does, well, it feels like home. All of a sudden, it's not who you play football for, it's who you are. And it's such a nice thing, I've got to say, having stayed and just been at the one place for so long. The love both ways is really precious. Feels like home. Knowing that we've got a finals campaign this year, it's like Christmas morning. As Teddy would say, we stuck it right up them.
You're always looking for how do you get people to follow you? How do you get either the players to follow the coaches or the club to build momentum and go on this journey to win a premiership? I think this is a real lesson for us as a sport, and certainly for our club, is that we've actually stripped all of that away. And we've actually said, this is about footy, but it's about people, and it's about having fun, and it's about playing great brand of footy. Come and watch us play. And no more than that.
When we packed out Fed Square and everyone's festooned in red, white and blue and the atmosphere is electric, it was magic. It was fantastic. Like that moment itself, that Fed Square thing, was not a management-driven thing. It actually came from the supporters. I was feeling, but I also had the sense of a lot of other people feeling, there's actually a lot of us. We're powerful as a group. You know, we're a big club. That was a great feeling. You do that again next year, it'll be good, but it won't be the same. Because the discovery of it, the discovery of things that we can do, the sense of a club, the sense that maybe the future's different, better, more positive, more capable of containing incredible moments, triumphant moments, than any of us have dared to believe.
I can't remember much about the game, to be honest. Apart from, I've got a picture of Tex Walker and Eddie Betts kicking goals. That's what I've got a memory of, but not much detail about the game itself.
Here comes Crammery again, Hardigan at the back. This time tries to punch away. Dixon offhand. He bends it magnificently. What a brilliant kick. And Dixon nails a second consecutive goal for the Dogs.
Stringer has been quiet. Elevated himself, Dixon. Dangerfield, Crammery worked him off the footy. Danger's back in there again. Here's Stringer. One step kick around the body. It's the package. Jake Stringer comes into the game. Kicks his first goal.
55 metres out. A hoisting big ball. Tex Walker has kicked a big one. Last 5 inside 50s going Adelaide's way. 3 goals apiece in the third quarter. Is this the goal breaker? Eddie turns on the left, got it bending, gets them out of his seats. Eddie Betts. Dixon lines up for goal number 5. Third of the quarter on offer, and the lead. Close to the man on the mark, and he rams it home. The Dogs in this sudden death final, back in front. What do you reckon, Lingy, getting on top here, the Dogs?
Oh, they certainly are in control. Caleb Daniel's been important since he's come on the ground. Chance here for Jakey.
Stringer on the right boot. It's going to go all the way. It's set up for the package. Jake Stringer has done it. Nailed a big-time goal that has put the Dogs in front by 8. And laid off half-back, doing it nicely. Here it comes with Walker. Gets rid of his man. Now he starts to work forward with a bounce. Tex has got a one-on-one with Jenkins. It's Jenkins and Hamling. Decides no, I'll go to Cameron instead. And Cameron has taken the mark. 20 metres out, directly in front. Adelaide lead by 7 points. What an incredible season it has been for the Adelaide Crows.
It's kind of where it finished, exhausted and shattered. Don't remember much about in the rooms after the game.
Yeah, it's gut-wrenching. I just said to the players, just to walk out with their heads held high for everything that they've done for our footy club and how far they've come. They deserve a hell of a lot of credit. but you want it to hurt a little bit and burn. Yeah, we're obviously really disappointed.
I wasn't ready to let the season go. Felt like the team had more. So when it ended, it was like having your arm cut off, but still having the sensation of the arm. I couldn't quite believe that that was it.
Regardless of whether you're the runner-up or the 8th spot on the ladder, I think you just go away with a really hollow feeling that you played a final or two, but you didn't achieve what you really wanted to achieve. And that missed opportunity's got to hurt a little bit for the memory banks to kick in next time we're there, to try and make sure that we capitalise next time. If we just roll on and think that we achieved a lot, you know, we came from 14th to 6th and then, well, ultimately 8th, that's okay, but it's still going to hurt a bit that we did so much right, but we did so much wrong and only got done by 7 points in a game that was within our grasp. So it's got to hurt a little bit for next time.
It probably doesn't conjure feelings that I'm particularly proud of, because you're just jealous, basically. You know, you become a bit of a snivelling sort of, I wish that was me and I wish that was us. And that's the thing every year at the grand final. The siren goes and they have the close-ups of players running towards each other and they grab hold of each other and they know what it means. They know that these friendships they've got are then bound together by something really special forever. And it's the forever bit. And you sort of think, oh, I kind of can only imagine what that's like, but and I haven't got that. As hundreds and thousands of footballers haven't got that, but I've got friendships that I think deserve that, but I haven't got it yet.
And the captain from the Western Bulldogs, Robert Murphy.
What a choice, and what a year, and what a moment for Bob Murphy.
I'm getting the head around being the Western Bulldogs captain, and that's not being smart. That's just how I am. So anything more than that seems a bit much for me. You know, Luke being coach of the year, I was just so, I don't know if proud is the right word, because I don't know if a player can be, but it was something like that, because he lifted our horizons. Never been a burning ambition for me, but, you know, I felt compelled to step forward, and I haven't doubted that instinct for a second since. The captaincy thing, it just sort of, it just magnified everything. There was some weight to carry, but that's offset by the energy you get from it as well. I don't take compliments easily. I sort of am wary of compliments. And that's what we're getting at the moment as a team, of what a great year the Bulldogs had, how exciting. But round one next year, we all start at 0 again, and you have to fight and scrap and claw for every win. So I'm already wary about that. So our point to prove next year will be, it wasn't a flash in the pan. You know, we're the real deal. So even as I say that, I can feel some of the stuff coming back. Like 2 weeks ago, it was just like, call a press conference. I'm hanging them up. I'm done. You finish the season and then 2 days later you have your exit interview and they said, oh, how are you feeling? You know, how was just a pretty general, how are you feeling? And I said, I know that I will be proud of everything all of us have achieved and what we're able to do this year and how much work we all put in and I know I'll be proud of it, but I said I don't feel it. I was just so shattered and heartbroken that the ride had finished, but I couldn't quite get there. Whereas now that a bit of time has passed, now I am looking back going, it was something else. It was something else. I feel that now. I feel that in my stomach and in my heart.
Mark this date down, Western Bulldogs fans. Saturday, May the 2nd, 2015.
It was the ride of my footy life to this point. It really was. It was magical.
The uncertainty that surrounded our football club at the start, that uncertainty ended up changing over time, and there was a real sense of direction that was driven really by our players more than anything. And to see our supporters and the effect that it had on them throughout the course of the year, and out of that uncertainty there developed some hope, and then out of that hope there was a realisation that we felt like we were a contender. That's the thing that'll live in my mind, but it's not enough.
It's been a great year. And it's an amazing environment and it's an amazing culture that we're starting to build at this footy club, and everyone's a part of that. You know, the youngest guys are a huge part of that. The old guys are a huge part of it. It's a place that you really want to be at.
Oh, it's been amazing how we've come back from, you know, the club was upside down at one point, and yeah, hopefully we can keep it going because I don't really want to go back to the sad times.
That's the thing that probably was such an uplifting experience for all of us, because having to get through 2014 and the end of 2014 and actually just hold it all together, that was really difficult. But to come out of it so quickly and to be part of that and to be contributing towards that, whilst it's a different feeling, it's still a great feeling.
I've never had as satisfying a year in footy as 2015. Some of the moments just magic. You know, it was just an exceptional year.
I feel like there's excitement around. So the excitement we're feeling about the group is other people are feeling it too, and it's great.
Everything's changed the last couple of years and a lot of things are going right for us, and I think the next 10 years is going to be some really exciting times for the club.
I know people say that you bake for them and you're lucky enough to play with them. Well, it's more than that to me. Obviously, my dad played, and now being a player and able to put my own sort of stamp on the club is something that, you know, will be with me forever, and hopefully I can do that in the coming years.
There's not much not to love about this footy club. We've got great people. We've got, while it's not a history that consists of a lot of premierships and wins, it's a history that we're all pretty proud of.
But it tends to be the guy who's got the most money who wins the war. And that's kind of true of footy. All of a sudden, we have the capacity, not just next year, but the year after that, the year after that, for the next 5 to 7 years, we have the opportunity to compete. But in addition to that, you can look at some of the people who might compete with us for that title. They haven't got the spirit, they haven't got the history, they haven't got the opportunity of taking a club that's one of the oldest sporting organisations in the world without a premiership in, 61 years, and changing that. No one else has that opportunity.
Step in the right direction. I mean, people will say it was more than that, but although maybe a leap in the right direction. And that's all it is in the end, because we want to be a power team, or power teams really. Our football club has 3 teams now with our women's team, but so when you consider the outcomes this year, that's a leap in the right direction, but it's definitely not enough.
This story started 12 months ago on a holiday in Bali, and then the whole world kind of, in a footy sense, the whole world kind of blew up. So we're going back to Bali, which that's probably the first blue. I won't be checking my phone.
So what is leadership? It's difficult to define, and the word's bandied around too much as far as I'm concerned. But for me, there are 3 dependencies that need fulfilling. You have to have the will. Do you want to lead? Are you available? You have to have the right personality. And most things about you have to be right. Do the circumstances suit? Do the circumstances suit? Some people are equipped to lead and others are not. And sometimes people need to stand up for others, stand up for a cause, stand up for something they believe in. At the end of 2014, we needed people willing to lead by example. And we needed people who we respect and people who we believe and people who actually believe. And we found a captain in Bob Murphy. Bob suited our circumstances. He believes in our football club. But as far as the Western Bulldogs is concerned, all in means we're prepared to totally dedicate ourselves to the Western Bulldogs cause. So boys, throw your chips on the table and give yourself up to the house, and let's look forward to writing this next chapter.